in closing, if we are going to grow collectively as a nation, we have to learn the culture of America. Now, many people may say, what is that? It's everything. It's simply everything. I am a pastor. I am a Christian apologist, right? So as an apologist, I now get to meet other who? What? Apologists. Yes, that's how it works. Beforehand, I didn't know apologetics. I didn't know apologists. Now that I'm inside the culture, I now know other apologists. That's how it works. If we're going to bring unity to America, to all races, we all have to learn the culture of other individuals, right? When we look at Hispanic people, we can't just say, oh, we can only relate to them by their jobs, like cutting grass or immigration, or like, that's nonsense. That's stereotype. That's a stereotype that all Hispanic people cut grass. I know Hispanic people that live in gated communities making six figures. I used to go to a church where the senior pastor was Hispanic, full blood El Chapo. And he lived in a gated community, still does, made six figures in his job, and he was getting paid from the church, right? So it's not about the race, it's about the culture. Because because he was able to have a high position, making six figures at his day job, that put him in a higher bracket of making more money. So then that put him in a community of successful people living in a successful culture, right? He's in a culture of successful people that within that gated community are making six figures. You follow me? So then also with the church, he was able to make big connections with other churches to be able to preach as a guest and get paid. Why? Because he was within the culture of church ministry. So again, I just wanted to share that knowledge today. It kind of like hit me when I was outside walking my dog. I was just like, man, I understand how we can bring unity to America at a whole nother level. It's focusing on the culture. If you know something and someone else doesn't know it, teach them. So then they can come into that culture and learn what's going on. Or else it is considered racism. Because racism is about not the color of your skin, but it's about the power. It's about the position. So if I sit down with someone and they know all about real estate, they know all about stocks and bonds, they have a 401k, and then they don't tell me how I can obtain that same knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is the information, wisdom is applied to my life. And then they're doing me a disservice as a human being. If I know how to do something, I should be sharing it with other people. Now, sometimes, sorry about that, you guys. You guys know I got that crazy chihuahua and just be barking, trying to mess up the vibes. But no, so in closing, all I wanted to say was sometimes people are going to be narcissistic. Sometimes people are going to be very selfish. Sometimes people are going to cut you off when you're talking. So that's when you as a human being have to detach yourself from that individual. I don't give a care if they're in your family, in your neighborhood, overseas, old college buddy, old church pastor. The reality check is once you start paying attention when you're talking to someone, you have to focus on healthy dialogue. You must focus on healthy dialogue with individuals. If I come into your inner circle, I want to know about your culture. I don't want to know about blah, blah, blah. When I was at this job, I did this. Oh, look at my success. Look at my accolades. Look at my achievements. That's not going to bring people closer to each other. What that's going to do is detach people from each other, and it causes the breakage in unity, right? There would be disunity, right? Because this person can't relate to this person because all they're doing is talking about me, myself, and I. So what you have to do is humble yourself, and you have to make sure that when you're around people, ask them questions. Now, don't make it an interrogation, because people don't like that stuff. If you ask me 20 questions, that's an interrogation, right? Give me a chance to answer the first question, then we will move on. Healthy dialogue, healthy communication is I ask you a question, you respond with a 1 to 2 minute explanation in response. Then you ask me a question. I only take 1 to 2 minutes. Now, sometimes it may take 4 or 5 minutes, and if it's really good information, good principles, then you can get 5 or 10 more minutes in the conversation. But for the most part, you have to be aware that you're talking to someone. A lot of people miss that. People blah 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 blah, and it's like, not talking to them anymore, right? You can keep smiling, you can shake people's hands, give them hugs, but you have to realize, man, this person doesn't. They're not sharing their culture. They're not showing me how to make money. They're not telling me about how I can educate myself and become an intellectual. You know, because one thing about human beings, we know what another person has to offer, even if they don't say it. You can tell me all day you're broke, but then all you got to do is tell me what you did for a living full time, and I'll know if you're really broke or not. I'll know if you got that 401k or if you just want to be woe is me, poor is me, feel sorry for me. So I'll know. All I need is 5 or 10 minutes with any individual in the United States, and I can tell where you stand. You can't tell me you're broke, but you have a nice car. You can't tell me that you never made a good salary, but you had a big house and several cars. You can't tell me that you don't have this and that, and you're doing this and that. You can't tell me you can't afford to eat there, but you've eaten at every place in America. You can't tell me that, oh, I was so popular and I influenced and impacted people, but you're lonely. You don't have any friends. Nobody checks on you. So you got to put two and two together. All people have to do is listen. Listen and pay attention to what people say and what people do, and they'll tell on themselves. But anyway, this video was about unity. I hope you learned something. Share the video with other people. We need to fix the problem of the disconnect in America with human beings. We need more unity. And then maybe people overseas and maybe people in China will understand. I'm out.